Well, Spurs fans, this is going to be a hot topic.
Go, Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stay.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. And yeah, there's been a lot of talk about Devin lately and his performance. And the question I have is Devin Vassell tradable? I'll circle back to that in a few moments, but there was an article from Air Alamo about that, and I was like, well, let's talk about it, and they don't really hold back, so buckle up. The role of number 2 option on a professional basketball team is fairly simple. You'll be expected to play defense no matter what your other responsibilities are. But on the offensive end, you're expected to be a reliable option to produce points. Okay, I certainly agree with the second part of that. And yeah, I guess the first part of that's fair too. Devin Vassell is not holding up his end of the bargain, and it's baffling the minds of Spurs fans everywhere. That's fair. My mind certainly baffled. The Silver and Black faithful have defended Vassell's potential to non-Spurs watchers for years as he's raised his production every season, showing an all-star caliber trajectory. He's hit a wall so far through 21 games he's played, directly costing San Antonio wins. I don't know about directly costing San Antonio wins. Losing is still a team effort, playing bad defense, blowing fourth quarter leads 2 games in a row. I'm not putting that on Devin Vassell. Certainly if he played better, maybe we win a game here and there, but I think I'm being a little harsh there. Victor Wembanyama has been averaging almost 30 points per game, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and 5 blocks over the last 10 games. Wembp, anyone? He's shot 50% from the field and 39% from 3. There is no reason the Spurs should be 5-5 over that stretch. No, probably not, but again, this is a team effort. The team wins and the team loses whether Wemby's playing good or bad. Vassell is only averaging 14.8 points per game over the same 10-game stretch, and ironically, that is the same stretch where he became a starter. He's shooting a field goal percentage of about 41% and 27% from beyond the arc. Ouch. His field goal percentage over the last 10 games is the 4th worst on the team, behind guys like Stephon Castle, Kellen Johnson, and Julian Champagnie. Hey, you taking shots at those guys? Okay, anyway. The only players he's shooting better than are Malachi Branham, Chris Paul, and Zach Collins. Okay, that's not territory you necessarily want to be in. Move further along in the article. His scoring average from his rookie season up until last year went up from 5.5 to 12.3. In his third year, he averaged 18.5, and last year he averaged 19.5. So I would think the expectation would be fair to say average about 20 points per game. Yes, no, I know Wemby's been on a scoring tour de force, but something close to 20, right? He's now averaging about 15.5 this season, going in the opposite direction fans expected based on his history. And that is fair, but if other players' scoring averages are going to go up, 9 times out of 10 other players' averages may go down. In regards to Wemby's only in his second year and playing like an MVP candidate. Agree 100%. The least Vassell can do is play like a borderline all-star. That, again, come on, man. I mean, I'm not expecting to play like an all-star, but I was expecting his production to be better, as many of you were. It's not a lot to ask for, considering it's his 5th year in the league. He averaged nearly 20 points per game last season, and he's being paid to provide that scoring punch. Well, that he is. Every game that goes by that Vassell underwhelms moves him further into the category of available that fans never expected before the season started, but nothing is guaranteed in sports. And I have a lot to say now on this. All right. Devin Vassell's most recent slump as a starter is not helping, especially at a time where he's starting to become a bit under a microscope. In the last 4 games, and I was shocked to see this, his shooting splits are 38, 13, saying that, and 63. And this is not on a low volume number of shots where it's like, okay, he hasn't made a 3 in his last 3 games. Well, he's taken 1 3. No, it's not like that. He's taking about 16 shots per game and just under 6 threes a game. So there's a pretty big volume there. And yes, he's an absolute shooting slump. And his struggles since becoming a starter are documented. He's been a starter for 10 games, splits of 41, 27, 77, 14 points per game. I will defend the other part of his game. He is contributing in other places. In those same 10 games, he's averaging 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.5 steals, and not turning the ball over. Only 1.5 turnovers per game. But his shooting is certainly a thing that we are keeping an eye on because he is a shooting guard. That's what you're out there to do. Shoot the ball and make it. And his shot selection has been questionable at times. And at the moment, at the time of this video, sure, it's only by a few percentage points, but he's shooting a career worst .342% from three, just under his rookie season. Is he still injured? I don't think so, Spurs fans. He doesn't seem to be on any type of minutes restriction, so he seems okay. In regards to Devin, he is our highest paid player, and he is supposed to be our second best offensive player. I'm not expecting him to be our second best defensive player, but at least our second best offensive player. And with that comes high expectations. And if we're being honest, right now they're not being met. Could the pressure of being the highest paid player be getting to him? I don't know, but I expected more. I certainly did. So to circle back to the question I said earlier, is Devin Vassell tradable? My final answer is a split answer. My Spurs heart says no. My mind says yes, if we are getting a star in return. And yes, there's a caveat. We're not getting a star, probably 1-for-1 with Devin Vassell. We'd have to add some draft picks, which we certainly have a ton of, a plethora of. So sure, maybe. Or a player that maybe fits with Wemby better. When I look at our Spurs, we have to remember that most of this roster was constructed pre-Wemby. We don't have all the right pieces around him right now. Stephon Castle is drafted post-Wemby, and there's a second-round picks too, but second-round picks are hit or miss. Right now, the only high pick we've taken since Wemby is Castle. We brought in Barnes and Paul. This is a roster that was constructed without Wemby in mind. And when I think about our roster in the next, just looking forward to after next season, guys, do you realize half our roster may be gone after next season? Zach Collins will be gone, right? If not before then, or we're just going to let his contract expire, maybe a buyout, whatever, he'll be gone. Harrison Barnes, whoop, can't even see my finger. Harrison Barnes will probably be gone after his contract's done. CP3, will he retire after this year? Will be traded if he's still Spur next year? Who the heck knows? Malachi Branham, I can't see him coming back after this season. Blake Wesley put him right there. That's 5 already. Sandro Mamakelichvili's not playing. That's 6. Charles Bassey's minutes are up and down. He could be gone. Who else we got there? Sidy Sissoko's not playing. Maybe he's gone. Trey Jones, last contract, or he's on a contract year. Maybe he doesn't come back. That's more than half the roster. Wow. We could see a lot of changes on our team when it's all said and done. And I hope things work out for Devin. I really do. I hope they turn around as soon as possible. I'm really hoping he doesn't fall into the category of Keldon Johnson. And I will admit, Spurs fans, I was total homer and heart on that one. You guys are saying trade Keldon, and I'm glad we didn't. I hope he works out in the bench role. His three-point shooting is absolutely horrible this year. I hope he turns it around. But right now, that's looking like maybe a player maybe we should have moved on from. He peaked pre-Wemby year, 21, 22 points per game. Had a drop-off last year, now having another drop-off this year, and his trade value with those drop-offs is going to go in the same way, like that. I don't want that to happen to Devin Vassell, where we have a player and we're hoping, the Spurs organization too has high expectations, and then they don't meet them, and then boom, 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 and now we have a player that's not living up to those expectations, and we're stuck with their contract, and their trade value is now minimal. I don't even know if his trade value is high now based on how much he's struggling this year. So, it's a tough spot, Spurs fans. We're still overall I'm very positive about our Spurs. I'm so happy about how much improved we are from last year and just how Wemby is the irresistible force and immovable object all rolled into one. But there's questions about spots around him. I even saw something, I'm not going to cover it. I think it was Air Alamo as well, that said trade for De'Aaron Fox. It was Jeremy Sohan, a bunch of draft picks, and Stephon Castle. I was like, what? Our most recent lottery pick, 4th overall, you're moving on already? No. I know Stephon Castle has to work on some things in his game, but there's enough there to make me think this kid's going to be something special in a year or two. I'm not moving on from him yet. As far as him, this is year number 5. If he finishes this year the way he is playing right now, oh boy, that could be rough. I'm going to have faith. Devin, you're going to turn into the Devin from last year. You're going to finish the season at some point, averaging close to 18, 19 a game, and all this talk about trading will be gone, and we'll all be happy in a better place. I don't know. That's all I got. Drop a comment down below. Do you think Devin Vassell is tradable? If so, why? Hit the thumbs up, like, support the channel, and subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs community. I'll see you tonight for the Bucks and the Spurs, 9:30 Eastern, I believe. It's on ESPN, so it's a nationally televised game. And it should be a lot of fun. Wemby versus Giannis, yeah, I'll take that. Every day and twice on Sunday. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs go.
Go Spurs go, 'cause the Giants stay.